time to talk about this antler. It's time to talk about this deer. It's time to do a little bit of Holyfield story time. I've talked a lot about this buck named Holyfield that I've been hunting the last 3 years, a lot on the podcast, a lot in past videos, but what I haven't done is share video for my 2017 season hunting him. That's what I want to do today and over the next couple of videos. My plan here is to go through the 2017 season, share that story, and break it down as we go along. Share with you my decision-making process, the things I did along the way that maybe were mistakes, the lessons I learned, and maybe then a little bit about how I imagine this hunt moving forward into the future even. So just in case though you're not familiar with the story, here's the quick background on Holyfield. Basically this is a deer that I first saw in 2015, but decided to pass on him as I'd already filled one Michigan tag. Fast forward to 2016, he was my #1 buck on this Michigan property. I hunted him obsessively, saw him 27 times over the course of that season during daylight, many pictures. Had one really close shot opportunity, but just didn't want to take that long of a shot. Then, fast forward, he makes it through the gun season, makes it into mid-December, and I had this change of heart. I decide, you know what, he's made it this far. I've already filled 2 buck tags this year. Why don't I just wait and see if he makes it 2017? So I do that. I ended up having a shot opportunity at him during muzzleloader season. And then the question is, would he make it into the new year? So 2017 rolls around. Holyfield again is my #1 priority. Now I've got 2 years worth of data to work with though to really fine tune what my strategy is going to be and put in as much possible work as I could to make sure I'm ready for this deer. So I went about going and fine tuning everything I possibly could to be in a better position to hunt and kill this deer. So I fine tuned my food plots. I put in new scrape trees. I manipulated tree stand, anything I could do to just tweak tree stands, make them a little bit better, position them just a little bit closer to where I thought Holyfield might be. Hung new stands, moved ground blinds, created new access routes, carefully monitored trail cameras, scouted from a distance a lot, just tried to cross every T and dot every I. My plan with all that information was to keep tabs on when Holyfield showed back up, which eventually did happen in early September. And then I knew based on my previous years of information that I had 2 opportunities I think would be best to get a shot at him. I thought opening night could be a good opportunity. Just because there'd been no pressure on the farm. Lots of times that really first day or 2 can be great. In past seasons I had seen him right around that time frame. So my first opportunity would be opening day. If that didn't work out, my plan was to stay off that property completely until October 24th, 25th, 26th, somewhere around there, because historically that's when he really started moving in daylight again. Both in 2015 and 2016 I had very near to shot opportunities at him on those dates. So that was my game plan. Make a careful, smart strike on the 1st of October and then wait. So October 1st rolled around. I had great conditions. I had the wind I needed to hunt my top spot for opening night. And basically what this was a food plot with oats and brassicas planted tight to a great bedding area that I knew Holyfield used a lot historically, given the fact that I'd seen him coming in and out of that area a lot and sometimes feeding in this food plot. So I planned this plot specifically for this situation. And I was going to be set up in a ground blind. I'd move to this section specifically for this type of wind, for the south or southeast wind that would blow my scent over my shoulder back into the standing cornfield towards the road, where I didn't think there would be any deer. So my game plan was to be dropped off down the road, walk in the standing corn all the way to the back of that blind, pop in, have great access. Nothing would know that I was coming in there, and my wind would be blowing away from the bedding area and would be blowing away from the food source. I thought this would be a perfect setup, and all I needed was for Holyfield to cooperate. Well, it's finally here, opening day. The day we've been waiting for months and months and months has arrived. And for me, it's all about this buck Holyfield that I've been chasing now. This will be my 3rd year, and tonight will be my first shot at him since last December. So, super stoked. I'm all washed up, ready to go. Just gotta throw on the camo, then I'm gonna get driven over to where I'm gonna be heading into this property. So, got high hopes for tonight, and see what happens. As the night progressed, I started feeling better and better about the situation, because not only was it opening night, not only did I have the right wind, not only did I have a great food source, but I also had good conditions. There had been some rain that had moved through. It was a little bit cooler. I definitely thought the deer would be moving, and they obviously were. I had many does coming out and feeding in the food plot. It seemed like any second now the big boy would step out of the cover. But here's the mistake I made. I had assumed that no deer would come from my downwind area because it was back towards the road in this standing cornfield away from the main bedding areas. Unfortunately, because of that, I didn't put as much time or energy into making sure I had my ozonics properly set up, which was protecting my downwind side. So I did hang it up on the ground blind, but I didn't give it, I guess, the care that I needed to. Because of that, unfortunately, just about 20 minutes before dark, I hear snorting and blowing from back behind over my right shoulder, downwind of me. A deer had come from that direction. Spooked, and because of all that blowing, she spooked all the rest of the deer off the food plot, cleared the whole field, and kind of ended my night. So that was it for opening night. It was disappointing, not the way I wanted it to go, but very rarely are you ever going to have a perfect setup. And unfortunately, the one tiny thing that I didn't want to have happen did happen. But that's hunting. So from there on out, my game plan was to monitor the property with trail cameras and with long distance observation, but stay out of there, not hunt at all again until that historical time frame when he should be moving again. And so that's what I did. Monitored the cameras, got pictures of him, and just waited, bided my time until it was time to strike again. And I think with this deer, that has always been my mentality, and it is my mentality going forward. You can't overpressure this area because it's a very small property. I just have a handful of good spots really to target him. So it was really, for me, it was really all about making very smart, precise strikes. So I made my opening night strike. Now I was going to wait for my late October strike, and really hopefully that was going to work out for me. Well, glad to see he's still on camera. Got a few pictures of him. Finally got a face forward shot of him, which is nice to see, to be able to compare to past years and everything. But glad Holyfield's still around, but what I saw on camera definitely isn't going to change my plans at all. He's still not showing up during daylight. He's not showing up that often. So I think my best bet is to be patient, to just wait until either something changes as far as my observations or camera pictures, or wait until that time is right. And typically for him, that's late October. Just cross all my fingers and toes from here on out. Check the weather forecast every 15 minutes and count down the days till hopefully things are going to get better.